Okay, so it looks like Facebook and YouTube are good. All right. Hi, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to my YouTube channel, Freelance Computing. My name is Kevin, and I just want to say thank you very much for attending this first live stream ever for my company. Now, you might notice that I'm going to be switching back and forth. I actually have two webcams going on right now. So this one here in front of me, this one is for YouTube Live, and this one over here is actually for Facebook Live. And Justin, hey, how's it going, buddy? So basically what what I'm going to be doing is one of my clients has given me a HP desktop computer. And basically the diagnostic that he had was basically when he turns it on, it basically turns on and turns off, turns on and turns off. It won't get like a steady stream of power. So I'll try to show you guys the desktop here. So it's a Hewlett-Packard Pavilion. It's a little bit older. I already did you the favor of taking off the side panel. But see over here, when you plugged it in, literally the fans would spin and not spin. So what I'll do is I'll try to aim the webcam down a little bit so you can see what's actually going on with the power. So I have a power plug here. So let's see. So let's see if I could get this webcam to go down a bit. Give me 1 second here. Come on. All right. Might have to just take it off and hold it. Okay. I'll try not to shake it too much. Okay, so show you guys what's going on. So here's the fans. So I'm going to flick the power and now listen to pretty much what happens. So see how it's spinning up and then it just stops and then spins up and then stops and all the other fun stuff. So that pretty much tells me a couple of things. It's either power supply or it could be motherboard, memory, could be a whole bunch of things. So what I'm going to be doing initially is I will be doing I'm going to leave this angle downward. I'm going to be doing the power supply first because that's usually a telltale sign that something is going on. So put this keyboard away. Now, what I usually do before swapping out a brand new power supply is I usually test it with a power supply that I have that's extra, that I know that it works. So I won't be wasting my time pretty much taking the whole thing out and replacing it and then finding out that it's actually not the power supply. It could have been like the motherboard or something else. So the power supply... The power supply that I have here is a Corsair RM750. Corsair is a trusted brand, along with like EVGA. That's another good company too. But this power supply I've tested and I know it works. So if you have any questions, usually I like Corsair EVGA. Sometimes I do go for like the kind of like more generic ones. Not very often, only because with the generic ones, you don't really know what quality you're getting. Usually, if you're only paying like $10-15 for a power supply, you're getting a pretty cheap one. So that's something that you want to avoid. This machine here, I'm not going to put anything special. Hold on for a second. The power supply I ended up getting was just something basic. It's a Aptivia Venus. 400 watts. It's just to power this. I talked to my client. He didn't want anything special or anything crazy. So once I swap this out, it'll be good for like maybe like another year or two, maybe longer. Who knows? But he's not planning on keeping this machine. There's just some data that's on there that he needs. But he's in the middle of a couple of projects. So he just wants it. This is why I'm doing it at 8 o'clock at night. And then just basically give them a call and let them know that everything's all set so we can pick it up tomorrow morning. So yeah, this is the power supply that I'll be installing. Justin, if you could do me a favor, can you actually hear me okay? This is the first time I'm actually going live, like live. So can you just put in the comments if you could hear me all right, or the video quality? I know the webcam isn't as high tech, but it's just something for me to run on. So if you do me a favor, just write in the chat, thumbs up, thumbs down, like 1 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Let me know the quality of video and audio, if you're even watching or you just clicked on it. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever. And then there's no chat on YouTube, so I'm not too worried about that. But anyways, all right. So let's go ahead and put in the power. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the 4-pin here, because we don't really need that anymore, and the 24-pin. So now I'm not going to take out all the connections. Like I said, this is just for me to test the motherboard to see if it'll actually work. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to switch this over here. Sorry, give me a second, guys. I have basically 2 video feeds going. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So basically, I have dual monitors right now. I have one in front of me, then I have one off to the side. But this one I'm going to be using. So when I do switch out the power supply, I'm going to plug the VGA in to see if I get a post. And I'll show you guys, basically if I get a post or not. Hopefully I will. All right. So like I said before, I'm not disconnecting everything because I'm only testing the motherboard to see if I actually get a post. If I get a post, awesome. That means everything will be working well. Then I could plug everything and swap everything out. So then it'll be working correctly. All right, so let's put in the 4-pin first. Now, if you notice, this one has 2 4-pins. For newer computers that require more power when you're doing overclocking and stuff, it'll actually give you like an 8-pin to push more power. But this is an older computer, so it only needs 4. So it allows you to basically split the connection in 2. So I'm only using the basic 4-pin here. And then, let's see, over here, here we go, is going to be the 24-pin. Now, it's basically a 20 plus 4. If you notice, there's 2 different connectors. Same thing, older computers use a 20-pin. These are really old ones. Now, standard is 24, but they still add this in case you are using an older computer and there's like a capacitor or there's like a port that's blocking out the port, so it can't fit the extra 4 pins. But this one over here actually has the full 4 plus the 20. So when you're installing the plugs in it, notice how there is a tab right here. Oh, let me see if I can get this camera. So there's a tab here on this camera over here, right? So on the motherboard itself, if you look at the 24-pin connector, there is actually a place where this tab actually goes. Same thing with the 4-pin too. So when you're installing it, make sure that you push it all the way in and that the clip actually clips onto it. Sometimes what happens is when you're plugging it in, especially if it's a new connector, it won't go all the way, but it might feel like it did. But then sometimes what happens is when you are using the computer and you're moving it around, the plug can get loose and it could cause a short, so you might want to do that. Another thing I want to mention, if you notice how I'm not wearing any like wristband for anti-static and all the other fun stuff. Nowadays with technology, you don't really need to really use it. I mean, I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for this, but you know what? I'm just going to say it anyways. I usually don't wear the anti-static bands only because my floor is hardwood. I wear rubber sandals, and then also I'm working on a wood bench. So I don't really have anything that would really cause a lot of static. Usually when I'm doing computer builds, I'll build everything on top of the anti-static bag that it comes with, like for the motherboard. So I'll install the CPU, the RAM, the heatsink and fan. I'll install all that prior to me building it inside the chassis, just in case if anything does get any type of static shock, the anti-static bag will prevent that. And then when I'm actually building the metal chassis, the first thing I actually do is install the power supply, and then I will leave the plug in. Not the switch will be off, but I'll leave it plugged in so at least the chassis will stay grounded. So yeah, there's a lot of preventative things you could do when you're building machines, but you don't really have to worry like you did back in the day when things were really, really delicate. Nowadays, they've built hardware so well that you don't really have to worry about static shock and whatnot. So, anyways, all right, I'm just gonna grab a bottle of water. Give me a second. Okay. Hi, Kim. Can you do me a favor? Can you type in the chat and let me know that if you can actually hear me and see me all right? I'm running both Facebook Live on this camera, and I'm doing YouTube Live on this camera, the one that's pointing downward. So right now you only see my face on Facebook Live, but if you go on YouTube, you actually see the computer that I'm actually working on. So, hey, Gordon, how's it going? Sweet. All right, thumbs up. All right, good. So everything's going on. Okay, so anyways, all right, so back to where I was going. So the 4-pin is connected here. The 24-pin is connected. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try to angle this so you can see what I'm actually doing. Okay, so hopefully you guys are watching the YouTube one because the Facebook one, the angle's horrible. But anyways, 4-pin here, 24-pin, power supply is plugged in. Can hear, but I'm painting. Was watching you over on YouTube. Sweet. Okay. Awesome, you guys. Thank you. Okay. So now that the power supply is plugged in, now I'm going to take the power and plug it into this one and fire it up, and hopefully I will get a post. So let's see. Plug in the VGA. Don't mind me. I'm just switching my input on my secondary monitor so I can see what's going on. All right. So now, if you guys missed it before, what ended up happening with the old power supply, the fan would spin and then it would shut off, and then it would spin and it would shut off, and all the other fun stuff. So actually, let me take this and move it here so you guys can see it better. All right, here we go. All right. So power. And power. All right, so it's a lot further than what it was before. And we have a post. So let me show you on my other screen here. So that's basically saying like reboot and select proper root device, only because I didn't connect everything else. I only connected the motherboard for power. So good news is we know that the power supply was the problem, and then now we got everything working. So next step would be to take out the old one and then pop in the new one, and then we'll see how it goes. All right. Disconnecting. It's the 24 and also the 4-pin. Now, just kind of be careful when you guys are moving stuff around inside the computer, only because you never know what is in the way of what. So just be careful not to like snap any like capacitors or push a little bit too hard when you're trying to insert something. Just be well aware of the components that are also in the motherboard. Even though I said that nowadays they've built things a lot more sturdy, there's still a possibility that if you're a jerk about it, you can definitely still break it. So just don't be overzealous with it. Okay, so now here comes the fun stuff. Let's start unplugging things. Actually, yeah, let's do that. All right, so in here, pretty much the main power and the 4 pins are already connected. The only other thing that he has installed in here is the DVD drive, which is up here. So it has your SATA connector here. Trying to look at the camera. There's that one over here, and then over here is the hard drive, and the hard drive also has its own power. If you're concerned, sometimes people remove the SATA connection too. Just as you're moving stuff around, you don't snap the cable or snap the port. But it has enough room around here that I don't really have to disconnect any of those things, so I don't really have to worry about that. So let's see. And of course, HP is well known to not use normal Phillips head screws. They use a screw called a Torx screw. Actually, I'll use this one instead. Now, the Torx one, for people who don't know, it's the one that's like a star shape. And there's all different sizes. Even I think Apple iPhones use a star one too, but it's like a 00. Let's see here. So I just need to find the right size. I want to say it's a T10. I could be wrong. Oop, probably bigger, but we'll see. All right, so this is a T15. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so let me show you really quick what I'm talking about. So here, hopefully it'll focus well. So this is the star screw that I was talking about. That's for the YouTube people. For Facebook people, you kind of see it, maybe not. It's just a torque. So when you're looking for a kit, just ask people, oh, just give me the torque kit, and then I get you that. So this over here is just basically like one I got from Home Depot, Husky, whatever, generic brand. It has all different sizes over here that you see. What I'll also do is on the YouTube feed, I'll look up the items that I'm using, excuse me, and then I'll put links on the description below. So in case you guys want to use the same or have an idea of the tools that I'm using, you could see which ones I'm actually using right now. So I would love to get an iFixit kit. iFixit, I use their website all the time. Why am I getting this? Go away. Oh, Facebook is being so... Oh! Facebook, why would you do this? All right, well, Facebook screwed up my live feed, so that wasn't cool. It told me to log in for some reason. All right, hold on, guys. Let me redo this again. Go live. All right, well, whatever, Facebook. You suck. All right. I don't know if it's Facebook that did that or it was I'm using Google Chrome too, so Google Chrome might have reset it, so I don't know. Hi, Mom. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your support. If you guys want to, feel free to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Like I said, I just started doing this, so I will be doing more videos in the future. This will be my Can I Fix It series. So basically anything that I have clients for that need things repaired, such as computers, laptops, cracked screens on iPhones and tablets, that sort of thing. I'm going to try to do all those repairs live on both Facebook and on YouTube also. So spread the word, let people know. And like I said, both chats are open. So if I'm doing something wrong, or if you have a comment, you're more welcome to say something. I'll try to read it, but if it's for trolling and non-supportive, then I'm going to ignore it. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, all right, so here is the power supply that's completely removed. You can see it's kind of small and old, and I don't know, it's not even, yeah, this thing is generic as hell, so whatever. We're going to get rid of this. This is garbage. Oh, and also, if you guys can see back here, these are all computers that I've already pre-built. So anyone who needs a computer, I have laptops over there. You can't really see them, but if you know anyone that wants a computer and Christmas is coming, so I have business class machines. I have gaming class desktops and laptops and all the other fun stuff. So if you know anyone that needs a computer or a laptop, or they need their screen fixed or something, let me know. All right, so this is the first time I'm opening this package, so might as well do like a little unboxing, right? Because everybody else is doing it. So here's the Aptivia Venus Power Series. Oh, wait, so there's that, and here's the YouTube thing, yeah, right over there. Okay, so it just gives you like a little description of all the plugs and the AC and DC inputs and outputs and all that fun stuff. Very important to give you the power cable. Very important to have. I feel bad because sometimes when I build people their first desktops, I totally forget that they don't have a power cable. So I tend to forget. But I have a whole drawer of them, so it doesn't really matter to me. Okay, also a set of 4 screws. Very important. So if you want, you could always keep these torque ones that HP does. Or you could just replace them with these. I'm just going to keep the same with the torque one so I don't have to waste these screws. And here is the power supply, nice and bubble wrapped for you for your protection. And zip tied to make it all look nice and pretty. See that? But the moment I take this off, it's going to be like Medusa's head and wires are going to be shooting everywhere. So, all right. Hey, Kathy, how are ya? Haven't seen you in a long time. Hope things are going well. I hope the people that were watching me before on Facebook knows that it kind of went to crap. So, or if I lost those viewers, oh well, that stinks. But hey, they could always rewatch it when Facebook posts it again. All right, jeez. All right, sometimes this bubble wrap is really well done. All right, here we go. So. Power supply, pretty much standard. There is your import for the actual power cable, your on and off switch. Usually when I install these, sometimes the power supplies, they leave it on the on. So just make sure they switch on off. I usually do that just to be safe. Kathy, I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. It's just standard practice for me. And of course, you know, the voltage here, it goes from the 115 to the 220. Do not change this. Oh, there's Matt. Hey, buddy. This is Maverick. Maverick, you want to say hi? Come here. Hey, look, you're on camera. Oh, yeah, good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Okay. You want the box? Go ahead. You can take the box. You know it's live when you see your dog just going to the camera. You're such a goober. Anyways, all right. So, yeah, that's my dog. And I'm surprised Weirdo, my cat, or Eva's cat, technically, well, our cat, hasn't meowed her way into my room yet. But anyways, I digress. All right, so let's go ahead and install the power supply. So just basically doing the opposite of what I did. So I took out the 4 screws. I disconnected all the power first. So on the motherboard, hard drive, DVD drive. And then remove the 4 screws, pull that out of the chassis. And now I'm going to place this back into the chassis. Now, the power supplies that have the fans here, as you could see. So because this chassis is, as you notice, there's nothing really here. Other chassis actually have an opening on the top. Or if it's bottom mounted, they'll have an opening on the bottom of the chassis, so the fan will be pointing that way. Because there is no exit here, this is an intake fan. So if you actually take a good look here, see how the fins are pointing? So it actually spins this way. So it actually intakes the air here and spits it out the back here. So what I'll do is that other power supply, for some reason, it was upside down because it actually had a fan on the top. I don't know why they put it upside down. I don't even know who the hell installed it, but I won't get into that. Excuse me. So I'll put the fan here. So what it'll do is that I'll take the heat from here, suck it up this fan, and blow it out the back just to keep the interior cool and everything like that. So, all right. So you just gingerly place it in and try to match up the screw holes and whatnot. Now, what's nice about the HP ones, well, it's a double-edged sword. There's a little tab here that the power supply will sit right up against it. Now, normally, this size power supply, it's a little bit smaller. Like if you looked at the Corsair one that I had prior. So here's the one I put in. But here's the Corsair one. So notice how it's probably about like 1.5 to 2 inches longer. So that tab would actually get in the way. but you could just push it down. Doesn't really matter. But if you notice too, just be careful when you're building machines too. Always take measurements. I've run into issues where I would buy something and it just didn't fit, so you have to do like a case mod or some sort of like sawing, hacking, whatever, just to get it to fit. Or you would have to return the part and then buy another one just to make sure it fits. So when you buy computer components, it will always give you measurements. If it doesn't, then you would probably ask. You probably want to shoot them an email and let them know, like, hey, what are the measurements, by the way? This goes for power supplies. This goes for heat sink and fan units that go on top. Even like your fans, you have your 80 millimeter, 120, 140, whatever. And then if you go into water cooling, that's another important thing too. Hi, honey. Thank you. What was I saying? Yeah, for water cooling, it's they use radiators. So the size of the radiators matters, not just the length, but also the width. So if you're really, like, for example, if the DVD player is right here and you're putting like a water cooler and it's too long or too thick, it'll get into the way of the wires. So it won't fit properly. So just make sure you do your measurements before you do any type of other hardware installs. Okay. All right. So that's in. And of course, standard practice. Where is my screwdriver? Oh, here it is. Just kidding. All right. So standard practice, before you start plugging in wires and everything like that, even though there was a tab here to hold it in place, still screw in the 4 screws just so it holds in properly. So you don't have to worry about things like moving around and getting all messed up. All right. So let's see. And you don't have to put them in exactly the same place. But to be honest with you, the amount of screw holes to give you back here, I'll actually show you. So here is the power supply here. And there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's usually 4 screws, 4 screw holes where you would actually put them into. So we can't see what you were doing. Lower the camera. No. So basically, Facebook Live is this camera here, but if you go onto the YouTube one, that's the one that's angled. So I purposely set 2 different angles. So Eva, if you want to see what I'm actually doing, go to the YouTube one, and then you'll be able to see the live feed from there. I know it's kind of redundant, but what could you do? I don't want to have both cameras like angled downward because I actually want to talk to people and see their interactions and have them see my face and all that fun stuff while I'm working on stuff. So, or what I could do. Oh, all right. Jesus. So let's try to. Where's the link for YouTube? Oh, so basically what ended up happening was that I had Facebook Live. I put the link on, but then for some reason, Facebook asked me to log in again, and it killed my my live feed. So if you go into my main page, just go through my my chat. I mean my feed, and then you should see the link there. Or just go to youtube.com. Actually, you know what? I could just do this. I could copy and paste. Hello. All right, hold on. And oh, thanks, Mom. All right, so paste and. And my keyboard's like stuck there in the middle. Anyways, yeah, I think. Stupid stuff. Oh, goodness gracious. Got stuff everywhere. Keyboard on. Enter. There we go. Okay, so that is the link over there. So, but anyways, yeah. So then I'll leave this one. I just shared this on my page. Okay. Well, either way. All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you, honey. All right. Where am I? Okay. Need to find the screw holes. All right. There's one there. There's one there. All right. Now, sometimes you kind of have to force things to kind of fit too. If they don't really go your way, oh well, maybe that's not the right one. Oh yeah, I love doing stuff live, especially when things don't work the right way. Yes. This is why I love doing what I do. Keeps the challenge. Makes it interesting. Yes. All right, well, that one's doing stuff right. Good. And now, since that one went in, it lifted the other one. Yes. Good job, HP, for screwing up your chassis, not allowing you to use aftermarket repair parts. So at least they're not bad as Apple, but I won't get into that. Apple is actually a lot worse. Long story short, Apple doesn't like it when you fix their products, let alone hire third-party companies to fix their products. They'll actually try to actually sue you. So there's this whole thing online about it. If you're really interested, go ahead and read it. It's actually really messed up what they're trying to do. Long story short, they make it more and more difficult for you to either acquire the parts to get it fixed, refurbish parts saying that they're not like authentic OEM Apple, and they try to get you on that. And then even repair shops that to even get the schematics on how to actually fix, like replace capacitors. There's a lot of states that's actually illegal for them to even get that information because it's copyrighted and all this other bull. But anyways, yeah, I won't get into it. I digress again. So I won't get too much into it. So, Mom, I think you are, but that's okay. I don't really mind it. All right. So what I'm not going to show you guys also is another general practice is cleaning up all the wire. You know what? Yeah, I might as well just do it. It's not that many wires. So normally when you buy a computer from brick and mortar or from a premium manufacturer like HP or Asus isn't that bad. HP or who else? Dell or something like that. They just kind of throw stuff together and turn it on, and hey, look, it works, and great. They're not really a big fan of cable management. So basically, what I do when I build my computers is I'll try to clean up the cables as much as I can. Main reason is so you have better airflow. So if you have like a wad of cables just chilling here in the middle, it's not going to get good airflow. So what is it? Air travels the path of least resistance, right? So basically, if you keep this whole area, like for example, like right here, this is where the magic happens right here. So you have your exhaust fan here, your intake fan here. This is where the CPU is. So you want to keep a consistent cool air. Usually you'll have a fan here in the front, but they blocked it with the hard drive. So I don't know. HP's design, they could have done a lot of better work. But anyway, so right now I'm keeping this whole area as clear as I can. You know what? Okay, I feel bad now because now Facebook people have no idea what I'm doing. All right, so thanks, honey, for making me feel guilty. All right, I can't really angle this camera, so I'll try to move it over here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So basically, I'm trying to keep this whole area here in the middle as clear as I can so that any type of air could go right in here and just basically stay cool and just do a simple path of basically having the air come in here, exhausting it from the back, having any air that comes in from the front, hopefully onto the CPU fan. And then this is another exhaust too. So it's just basically like a push-pull system. So just trying to move all the air in one direction as smooth as it can. So let's see. Oh my goodness, it's Buck. How we doing, Bucko? Eli, how's it going? Ryan, thank you so much. Okay. Okay. No pressure, right? All right. So anyways, so mind you, now, like I said earlier, this is why I test with the power supply that I know works. So at least I know it's not the motherboard or any other components, it's just a power supply. So this, if it doesn't work, it is not my fault because then I know it's a bad power supply. And this is why I bought two of them. So in case this one that I bought completely crapped out, I could try the other one. And if that still doesn't work, then I need to go back to the shop, get a refund, and get a different brand power supply. But I have faith that this will work. Should be okay. And same thing, I'm not going to plug everything in. I just want to plug in the main connectors to make sure that I get a post. And when I do get a post, then that's when I know that I can plug everything else back in. Okay, yep, okay. This will happen too, a lot of cable tangling. And this is why when we do craft shows, I always wind up the cables so it's nice and clean so I don't have to deal with a cable wad. Unlike some other people that I know that just wind up stuff and throw it in a bag. You know who I'm talking about. Okay. So, power supply is in. Power. Flip the switch. All right. So I'm going to grab. All right. I'll leave. Which camera is this one? Okay. Right. I'll leave the Facebook one going, and I'll grab the. I'll grab the other one. Here. And let's go. Yay! Fans are spinning. Woo! Okay, so that's good, right? Huh? See? Look, fans are spinning and they're staying spinning. Oh, you know what would help? If I plugged in the monitor cable, that would let me know that it's working. Duh. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So, people on YouTube, just so you can see what's going on. Oh my God. All right. I'm just going to do both of these at the same time. So, here we go. So, there's one, there's the other. So, see all those words on the monitor? That tells me that, yay, it's working. So, all I have to do now is just plug in the power for the hard drive and for the DVD drive, and then we are ready to rock and roll. All right. All right. Okay. How are we doing on the chat? Derek, what's up, buddy? Okay. Wow. I'm actually quite excited that this amount of people are joining. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and shut this off. Now, normally, you know what? I'll just leave this plugged in so I could leave everything grounded. All right, so now another important thing that you should look at before buying a power supply is to make sure you have the right connectors. So nowadays, hard drives and DVD drives and everything like that, they use this thing called SATA. And I'll show you what the difference is. So I'll try to get it on both cameras here. Move over here. All right. So this is SATA or SATA, however you want to pronounce it. Thin, and it looks like a little like a Tetris shape. Has the little L with the little notch over here. Oh, excuse me. So when you do the SATA connections, it only goes in one way. Of course, I've seen people force it in the other way. I won't get into that. Okay, so then this one here is called your 4-pin Molex connector. So these are for older drives, usually back in 2000, and so not a lot of components use these. If there is something that does use this, that pretty much dates itself. But same thing, if you look, it's flat here on the bottom, and then up here it's rounded off. So same thing, it only goes in one way. But like I said before, I've seen people force it in the wrong way, and notice how you have your power, you have your red for live, you have your black for ground, and then you have your yellow for auxiliary. So if you somehow force it the other way and you turn it on, you're gonna blow something. So, but yeah, these are the difference. And this tiny little here, this is just a mini 4-pin. This is usually for let's see. Floppy drives, if people even know what they are, or like monitoring tools, like fan controllers and stuff like that. So this is pretty much the same type of power as here, just a mini version. So same thing, 4 pins, and like the bottom is longer than the top, and it has a little notch here on the bottom. So basically, it only goes one way once again. And if you happen to force it the other way, then you know what, more the power to you. You just messed up. So, anyways, okay, I can't get this camera to stay still. Anyways, all right. So, anyways, okay. So, DVD drive has a SATA, and the hard drive has a SATA. So, what you want to do is look to see what you have available. Generally, you want to keep them separate. The hard drives use one cable for power, and then the DVD drive use another. If you have two hard drives, obviously you could use the same cable and you can stack them. If you can, and they are close enough, you can share the same power cable for both. But generally, you don't want to overstretch the cables because that'll cause damage on it. And then once you start pulling out these pins, you could actually short something inside. So you want to be very careful with that. Move this up. All right, so I'm gonna use this one for the hard drive. And same thing, notice how I'm trying to wire everything so it kind of stays in one location so I don't have like this wad of cable just smack there in the middle. Just do the best you can. You can also use like tie wraps and everything like that. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to have you guys watch that because I'm very like type A when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that would be pretty much just wasting time if I do that. Where's my flashlight? Let's see. So what I'm looking for is that little tab to match it on the hard drive itself. Let me just get it in there. Come on. There we go. Now be very careful when you're pushing it in, especially if it's at like this weird funky angle that I have my hands in. On the drive itself, where the SATA connector plugs into, it's actually fairly thin. It does have some give, but if you're pushing down at an angle, and you could just snap it right off. So just keep that in mind while you're moving your cables and you're plugging everything in. So, okay. So that one's done. This yellow cable is just going to be in the way for the whole. I'll fix it later. All right. And then this one here. Shove that in there. Make it work. Little more. All right, good. Okay. So we have hard drive power, SATA connector, DVD power, DVD connector, 4-pin Molex here. 4-pin for the motherboard here, 24-pin here. So now, technically, what I should be able to do is plug the power back in, which it's already there, and fire it up, and it should boot right into Windows. So let's go ahead. Okay, it's powered on. And let me go grab my webcams. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's HP. Oh, look at that. Oh, damn it. That's because the power shut off. Hold on. Oh, no. There we go. Okay. Boop. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. So, as you can see, there's a webcam. Oh, my God. It is so difficult to angle these two. All right. So, starting Windows. Okay. So good news is that means that it's reading the hard drive correctly because I set the power on it. And yeah, and it's booting right in. So I'm not gonna show you that whole debacle thing. I'm probably gonna have to do some other stuff too. What the hell happened to you? What are you doing? Stop that. Stay put. Just stay put. Okay. Good. All right. So let's switch back to this. Okay. So that is pretty much it. There's obviously other things I need to do. I'm probably going to run a couple of diagnostics on this just to make sure that it is stable. I'll probably run like a benchmark or something like that just to run the power a little bit. Excuse me. And just to make sure everything is working. So normally Little more. Okay, sorry. Just saw that chat. Gotta put the kids to bed. Okay. Night, Buck. Thanks for watching. So where was I? Oh, sorry. So basically, after I replace the part, I usually don't just call the customer and just be like, "Hey, guess what? It's working! Yay!" And give me money. I go a little bit further. I'll try to run a couple of benchmarks too, depending on what the part I'm actually replacing. So if it's for the power supply, I'll usually try to let it run for at least an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on what time I get it working. That I just basically leave on and pray to IT Jesus that the computer doesn't catch fire or whatever. Other parts would be like the DVD drive. I'd throw in like a couple of DVDs, not the same one, a couple of different ones, and just play the movie and copy some files and back and forth just to see if there's any type of skipping. Hard drives, same thing. I usually run a couple of benchmarks just to make sure that it's actually reading and writing correctly. Normally, when I replace a hard drive, I do one of two things. I'll either image it, so basically you don't have to reinstall everything. I just do an exact carbon copy clone of their old hard drive onto their new one. That is if their old hard drive still works. If it works enough that I can actually grab an image off of it, then I'll do that. Other times when it's just completely dead and I put in a new hard drive, I'll reinstall Windows and a couple of benchmark programs, and then let it run to make sure everything's working. Same thing with RAM. If I upgrade the RAM, or if I have to swap out any type of memory chips, I'll run a couple benchmarks there just to make sure that everything is working right. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. How to replace a power supply and how to diag what the issue is and how to fix it and everything like that. So thankfully, everything worked out really smoothly. Other times that I've done it, I've replaced power supplies and it still didn't work. And then I will replace hard drive, RAM, literally every single part, including the CPU itself. That's basically worst case scenario, and that's when the motherboard is just completely dead. Then other times I would replace the actual CPU. It's very rare. But sometimes the CPU, if you're doing any type of like modifications, if you're overclocking, any of that type of stuff, and you're adding more stress to the actual hardware, you could short something out. But like I said, hardware nowadays are built so much more sturdy and more reliable that you don't really have to worry about that stuff unless you really, really mess up and you really push a lot of power or a lot of voltage through it that's not supposed to. Same thing if you don't have proper cooling, computers could overheat and that could also damage the parts too. So let's see. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah. So anyways, so that pretty much concludes the tutorial for the power supply replacement. I don't know if anyone has any questions or whatnot. No, I think everything's good. Okay, so I guess this is where I will end the stream. Once again, thank you guys for joining. If you liked the video on YouTube, please give a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. Do the opposite one. And then also, if you can please subscribe to my channel and also subscribe to my Freelance Computing Incorporated Facebook page. I would really appreciate it. And once again, excuse me, after this, I'll post the links of the items that I've installed and the items I've used to actually repair the parts. So if you guys were interested in purchasing that kind of stuff, you're more than welcome to do that. So once again, thank you very much, and have a good day. Thank you.